por habernos dado un nuevo día, por habernos dado este hermoso día que estamos aquí, aunque esté un poquito húmedo, pero aún realmente las grandezas de Dios y su grandeza es nueva cada mañana, su alegría y su gozo es nueva cada mañana, y el día de hoy declaramos que así está yendo para tu vida. Es realmente un honor compartir con ustedes todos los jueves de 3 a 3 y media. Es un radio, especialmente un programa, especialmente para los jóvenes, dedicado a todos los jóvenes. Le titulamos a mi amiga Saraí y yo le titulamos Youth on Fire for His Heart. So, realmente esperemos que nos estés escuchando en este día. Dios tiene una palabra muy específica, tiene una palabra para ti, y simplemente declaramos que sea de bendición para tu vida. Pero ¿qué creen? No estoy sola. Otra vez aquí me acompaña mi compañera. Ya la escucharon.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's me once again. I know it's a surprise. I'm here. I'm for good. So I'm just super excited to be with you guys every Thursday from 3 to 3:30. It's a program for young people, as many as you know. But if you know, it doesn't matter. If you just want to tune in, that's all right. And we just want to declare many blessings to your life to this day. It's a beautiful day, even though Josie did say it is a bit humid and hot. But we're just so excited, and we declare blessings upon your life, and that we hope that this day is whatever God intended it to be upon your life, that it may be a blessing, that it may be something different. But like she introduced me, I'm going to introduce someone else. We're not by ourselves. We have our very good friend, Aaron. So I'm going to give him the mic where he can introduce himself to you guys. I think he knows better about himself than I do, so.
I'm sure.
Thank you guys for having me here today.
Yay.
It's a blessing, and I'm excited to be here. Excited to be here and share this word that I believe God has placed in my heart just to share with everyone out there listening. And it's an honor. I come all the way from Joliet, so I drove 45 minutes to 355, 88 to 290, and finally made it here. But I'm here safe, and I'm here ready to just share what I have in my heart.
Yes. Es realmente un honor tenerte aquí, y realmente estamos muy muy bendecidos de que nos estés acompañando aquí el día de hoy. Y pues básicamente realmente la palabra que vamos a compartir, como él lo acaba de decir, es la palabra que Dios puso en el corazón de él. So simplemente él lo va a comenzar y simplemente lo vamos a discutir durante el transcurso del programa.
Yeah. So pretty much, you know, it's going to be mostly English. We're going to try to say a few things in Spanish. You know, Josie, you know, whatever she can get to say in Spanish, she'll say it. But we're just truly honored that this guy came over here, and me and Josie, you know, we don't tell him all the time, but we think very highly of him. So we're super excited to have him, and it's like an honor, privileged, you know, in the future, you guys are going to hear about this guy, and we're going to be like, we had him on the radio. So we just hope that this word is a blessing for you guys, and we're going to get started.
Yeah.
All right, so hopefully you guys are good translators.
We try.
Maybe I'll be switching in Spanish, but mostly all English. So what I want to talk about here this evening is about, are we branches of fruits or branches of fire? Which meaning it would be somos ramas de
fruto o ramas de leña.
Mira, ya ves,
yeah.
she knows.
She got it.
Yeah.
Yes. In the scripture here, what I've entitled here is, I base it off John 15. John 15, and we'll be going through the verses, verse 1 through 17. Hopefully we're able to just really dig into what the word here is, and what Jesus was speaking here when he was with his disciples on his final days. And the first, we'll be reading the first, I want to say, 5 first verses, and then we'll just go ahead and we'll break it apart from there.
All right.
Do you want me to read it? Okay, so I have the King James Version. So it says, I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away. And every branch that breathe fruit, he purgeth it, and it may bring forth more fruit. Now we are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. Abide in me, and I in you, as the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in the vine. No more can you accept and you abide in me. I am the vine, and ye are the branches. He that abide in me, and I in him, the same bright fruit, much fruit. Without me, ye can do nothing.
Okay, should I read in Spanish?
Yeah, I read it in Spanish.
Okay. So, en Juan 15, del 1 al 5 dice, yo soy la vid verdadera y mi padre es el labrador. Toda rama que en mí no da fruto, la corta, pero toda rama que da fruto, la poda, para que dé más fruto todavía. Ustedes ya están limpios por la palabra que les he comunicado. Permanezcan en mí y yo permaneceré en ustedes. Así como ninguna rama puede dar fruto por sí misma, sino que tiene que permanecer en la vid. Así tampoco ustedes pueden dar fruto si no permanecen en mí. Yo soy la vid y ustedes son las ramas. El que permanece en mí, como yo en él, dará mucho fruto. Separados de mí, no pueden ustedes hacer nada.
Right here we see a powerful description of John is the bear witness of witnessing what Jesus is speaking here. And I think something very important here in the first verse is that Jesus indicates that he is the real vine. Meaning we as Christians, as believers, we can be connected to other things that perhaps are producing stuff, things that are not connected or sensitive to his spirit. So right here, Jesus is inviting us to remain in him. And his description here is that he is the vine and we are the branches, that apart from him, we're not able to bear any fruit.
Bueno, yo lo voy a decir en español porque se me vino en español. Lo que está básicamente diciendo, lo que dijo Aaron es que en realidad aquí lo que dice es que Dios es el verdadero, vine. How do you say vine in Spanish now?
La
Vine. Yeah. So entonces significa que en realidad hay otras cosas que nosotros también podemos tener en nuestras vidas que a lo mejor no puede estar reproduciendo correctamente. O sea, que Dios es la persona donde es el verdadero, debería de ser el verdadero fundamento de nuestra vida, de la cosa que deberíamos de estar reproduciendo.
Sí. Y creo que como le tituló él, que si somos ramas de fruto o de leña, yo me puse a pensar, realmente yo lo veo como... Es como un árbol. Supongamos, la vid puede ser la raíz de ese árbol. Si esa rama es cortada, entonces no puede dar fruto, se seca. Creo que es ahí donde se convierte en leña, cuando se seca.
Yes, knowing that apart from him, we're not able to do anything. Like Jesus says here, I am the vine and you are the branches. Those who remain in me and I them will bear much fruit, for you can do nothing without me. In other words, we as Christians, right here we see Jesus speaking to believers already. He's not speaking to non-believers. He's speaking to believers here. And what he's inviting us is to remain in him. And as we as Christians, if we don't remain to that lifeline, our spiritual life will be dead. Our spiritual life will bear no fruit. We won't produce. But Jesus here is inviting us to remain in him. He's inviting his disciples. He is right here with this example, inviting us to remain in him in order for our lives, for our Christian lives, to produce fruit. And fruit that will endure, fruit that will last.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
That was a lot.
Just trying to
translate that.
Pretty much, man. I don't know how to even.
That's hard to translate.
Yeah, that's hard to translate. Básicamente, nomás está diciendo como deberíamos de tener fruta que dé vida. Y que pueda, que esa misma fruta se pueda reproducir. Yo quisiera decir que más o menos es lo que está diciendo, es que no solamente hagamos algo como let's not just, I'm going to say it in English.
Yeah.
No, nomás no que hacer algo por hacerlo.
Chinese if you want.
Yeah. Pero hacerlo que sabemos que eso va a reproducir aún algo más y algo más y algo más. Que no sea nomás fruta que se corte ahí mismo. At least, es lo más poquito que puedo decir de todo lo que digo ahorita.
And if we go on to verse 6, we actually see that those who do not remain in me are thrown out like a branch and dry up. Such branches are gathered up and thrown into the fire, where they are burned. Now, this right here reminds me of a story in which I have my grandfather. He sees all the dead, branches around, the yard. And what he does, he cuts them, of course. But he likes making bonfires. So basically, all the dry branches, he gathers them up and makes a bonfire. Now, when I was reading the scripture, it reminds me of that. Because sometimes as Christians, if we're not connected to the source, if we're not connected to the lifeline, if we're not connected to the vine, we won't produce. We won't produce, and we'll be useless. We'll be just a dried up branch. So it's very important to actually take what Jesus is actually saying here and really take into consideration as Christians. What is our life producing? What are we giving? And he goes on to say, Jesus uses the figure of the vine to demonstrate intimacy and cleansing. So right here, Jesus also says, you've already been clean because of the word that I've spoken to you, because of the word that is upon you. Jesus declared he is the branch, he is the vine, and we are the branches. But he also, something very important, he demonstrates how to remain in him. He tells us he is inviting us to an intimate union with him. As branches, believers either bear fruit or are pruned to bear more fruit, or do not bear fruit at all and are thrown away and burned. And I think something very important here is he's also inviting us to remain in him. And how do we remain in him? Well, if we go on and read verse 7 and on, it says, if you remain in me and my words remain in you, then you will ask for anything you wish, and you shall have it. My Father's glory is shown by your bearing much fruit. In this way you become my disciples. Now right here, he's also talking about disciples. That when we bear fruit, we're not just simple, faraway servants or followers of Christ, but we are disciples.
Yeah. Creo que yo lo voy a decir en español, creo que el 7 y el 8 es realmente muy poderoso, porque como y él lo acaba de decir en inglés, realmente no es nomás de simplemente decir, oh, yo creo en Dios y punto y se acabó, sino que tenemos realmente que tener fruto en Él. So es entonces ahí cuando nosotros nos podemos decir que somos sus discípulos, que no solamente somos sus sirvientes, que somos sus discípulos. Y otro de los puntos en el verso 6 que realmente estamos llamando, cuando él estaba diciendo que le recordó mucho de su abuelito, como cuando que tiene las ramas secas y las avienta para hacer realmente el fuego. Realmente, obviamente sí, porque sabemos que una rama verde obviamente no puede dar fuego. Esa rama tiene que estar seca para realmente que produzca ese fuego. Pero es aquí donde Dios nos está invitando a que no seamos esas ramas, sino que seamos esas ramas de fruto, esas ramas verdes que realmente crezcan y reproduzcan y den mucho fruto. What did you say?
I think you translated everything.
Yeah, I think I did.
And as we go on and read through the verses, as I want to get to verse 17, because I think there's some stuff here with these verses that Jesus indicates and is inviting us not just to be faraway servants, but to be disciples. And he also is showing us how to remain in him. If you remain in me and my words remain in you, then you will ask of anything you wish, and you shall have it. My Father's glory shall be shown by bearing much fruit, and this way you become my disciples. Now on verse 9, he goes on to say, I love you just as the Father loves me. Remain in my love. And he goes on to say, if you obey my commands, you will remain in my love, just as I have obeyed my Father's command and remain in his love. I have told you this so that your joy may be complete. And that your joy may be complete. Now, something very important here is that I think in our jobs, we all have a job. We all work somewhere, or we all have a career. And within that career, if you don't produce, eventually they'll end your assignment. But within that job, there's also regulations. There's commands. And if you don't follow those commands, you don't follow those regulations that are given to you as an employee, most likely they'll end your assignment. Now right here, Jesus is saying, remain in my love and follow these commands. That way, your joy may be complete. Enjoying your Christian life, enjoying your walk with Christ, enjoying yourself as a disciple, producing much fruit. And I think that's definitely key to what Jesus is saying here to the gospel. As sometimes you say, oh, going to church is boring, the Christian life is boring. And I think it's definitely not. It's just, follow his commands, follow what he says to do.
Yeah. Y como siempre repetimos, y a los que saben, que este programa es especialmente para los jóvenes, y creo que realmente este capítulo, estos versos que estamos leyendo, como estamos diciendo, de ser discípulos. ¿Qué no más como nosotros de jóvenes realmente poder seguir a Dios, entregarle, y Sara y yo siempre lo repetimos, entregarle realmente a Dios los mejores años de nuestra vida, realmente comenzar desde esta temprana edad a ser sus discípulos y dar el fruto. Si solamente solo imagínense qué podría suceder, cómo fuera tu fruto cuando tú tengas 30 años, si realmente seguimos lo que está diciendo, lo que Jesús nos está diciendo aquí, que realmente nos quedamos con Él, que Él es la vid, que permanezcamos en Él para poder dar ese fruto. Realmente yo me puse a pensar y realmente creo que no hay nada más hermoso que, no, realmente yo no podía comparar la vida que yo tengo con Jesucristo a la vida que se vive en el mundo. Cuando permanecemos realmente en Él, realmente nos asombramos de las cosas que Dios hace en nuestras vidas.
Yeah, just wanted to hit on that part where it says that your joy may be complete. And I think Aaron hit a very important part that it talks, like he said, a lot of people think like, oh, my Christian walk is boring or something like that. And I've had so many people I've heard that so many times, but it says that your joy may be complete. And I think that if you're complaining about your walk with Christ, then you should ask the kind of fruit you're bearing, because it's talking about when you bear fruit, and when you bear fruit abundantly, and it's like genuinely, and it's fruit that, you know, it's quality. It's not just, you know, like, if anything, God is a God of excellence. And I believe that once you start reproducing, and once you start, like, your joy will be complete. Like, you already have joy because of salvation, but with this comes, like, your joy will, I don't know how much to say, like, you already, like, your joy will be complete. Like, it's not for God to, like, put more work on you, but at the end it benefits you. And I think that's something so important, that, like, that little chunk, it says that my joy may be in you, and that your joy may be complete. So, you know, like, this is a great way to, like, encourage all of you, like, you know, like,
no ser como esos jóvenes que apenas íbamos los domingos, simplemente porque es un domingo, es simplemente porque así nos enseñaron desde chiquitos, sino tener ese gozo, tener realmente la razón por qué estamos ahí en ese día.
You could talk now. I was gonna say, we took Aaron his spot. You could talk now.
Yes.
All right. Man, I feel like I'm being a little intense here. I'm going too strong at it. I should
No,
just relax.
No,
and I think following with the joy, and I think that's the joy of salvation.
Yeah.
Truly enjoying your Christian life.
Mm-hmm.
And as we go on, it also talks about the greatest love you can have for your friend is to give your life for them. So after he talks about joy and that your joy may be complete, he talks about love one another just as I loved you. And the greatest love you can have is for your friends, is to give your life for them. And if you are my friends, if you do what I command, I do not call you servants any longer, because servants do not know what their master is doing. Instead, I call you friends, because I have told you everything that I've heard from my Father. Now right here, he's also inviting. Right here, Jesus is inviting them not just to be my follower, not just to be my disciple, but to be my friend. Mm-hmm. Why? Because the servant does not know his master's business. Now right here, when you're a friend, when you're friends with somebody, most likely you'll know their business. You know, you'll know what they're doing each day. You know where they go to school, where they go to work, etc.
Their whole life.
Yes, you know their whole life basically. Maybe even be a stalker or a creep. But no, yes, right here Jesus is inviting them just to be a friend, not just a disciple, not just a servant from far away. Yes, I go to church and I serve. No, be a friend of God. That way his business, God's business, may be revealed to you. And I think that's when the kingdom comes upon you, when his business is revealed upon your life. And I think as young people, it's very important to understand this right here, that we're not just called, you know, to serve from far away in church. Yes, I do this, I do that. No, really get intimate with with your relationship with Christ, and grow from there, in order for you to become a friend of his, and your purpose in life will be revealed to you.
Yep.
Yeah, so básicamente está diciendo que si le seguimos aquí en nosotros versículos, Dios no solamente como no te lo está diciendo así, sino te está diciendo sé amigo de Dios, y Dios no solamente te quiere dar esto, sino quiere ser tu amigo en tu caminada con Dios. No quiere nomás, aquí dice, habla sobre que no te trata como un sirviente, porque él los ama, y no es igual que nomás mandártelo, sino que es un mandamiento con amor, como haz esto, like, Yeah.
A mí el verso que realmente me impactó bastante es el 13, que dice: nadie tiene amor más grande que el dar la vida por sus amigos. Creo que eso lo dice, que realmente lo dice todo. Así como cuando nosotros como nos hicimos nosotros amigos de él, realmente te pones a pensar como qué está tratando de decir, realmente dar tu vida por completo, morir por otra persona. No, obviamente no, pero realmente yo digo, pues si uno tiene la capacidad de realmente, no quiere decir que tú vas a morir por alguien más, quiere decir que tú vas a estar ahí con ellos, que tú vas a estar compartiendo más que nada la palabra de él hacia ellos. Tú tal vez estés dando un estudio bíblico, tú estés dirigiendo un grupo de jóvenes, lo que tú le quieras llamar. Yo lo pondría a eso como dar tu vida realmente por tus amigos.
And yes, I think that's very important. The greatest love you can have is for your friends, to give your own life for them. And I think when you're able to do that, meaning you're remaining in the vine, meaning you're remaining in the source. And I think that's when you hit a point when you remain in him, when you remain in the vine, the lifeline. You'll be able to really produce fruits, and really remaining in his love. And I think the greatest love you can have is really giving your life for those that are in need, for those to the right, to the left, to the people in front, to the people in the back, regardless of whatever class they're from, serving and helping out, giving yourself up because of your love, because of the love of the Father.
A mí realmente al estar leyendo este capítulo, a mí me llevó a Romanos 11:16, que dice: si se consagra la parte de la masa que se ofrece como primicias, también se consagra toda la masa. Si la raíz es santa, también son las ramas. So, yo me puse a pensar, si realmente nos permanecemos nosotros en la vid, por ejemplo, nosotros como jóvenes, yo me puse a pensar, por ejemplo, en la familia. So, si el padre del hogar, la cabeza de la casa, él se va a permanecer en esa vid, entonces, ¿qué quiere decir? Sus ramas, los hijos, su familia también va a ser santa. Y simplemente es algo que se me vino y lo apunté y simplemente lo quería.
We were not expecting. I was like, whoa. She just read a verse in Romans. Romans, what was that? Romans
11:16.
11:16. And and that was fast, so I don't have the translation, but it basically talks about like like the root of where everything is, and if the root is fine, then everything else will be fine. If the root is holy and sanctified,
then everything else will
be whatever you give out will be good as well.
Yeah. Bueno, muchachos, is there something else that you want to add?
Let's give Aaron the last word.
We need like an hour for him to preach. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Or maybe 2 hours. He's a preacher.
No, thank you guys for having me here. Maybe if you guys invite me later on, I'll be gladly.
Guys, can you guys let us know if you guys like them? That way we can invite them again or not. I'm just kidding.
If not, I'll just stay home. But thank you guys for having me here. I appreciate it.
It's an honor, really. Y realmente admiramos realmente a Aaron, como dijo Sara al principio, porque, y lo vuelvo a repetir, realmente es hermoso ver cómo Dios está levantando esta generación de jóvenes que realmente ya están dando el fruto, que realmente ya se está viendo el fruto en sus vidas. Y realmente los invitamos a que tú seas esa persona, que tú seas esa doncella, que tú seas ese joven que realmente entrega completamente tu vida totalmente a Él, para que durante el transcurso del tiempo tú puedas ver las maravillas, puedas ver las grandezas de Dios por medio de los frutos que Él te está dando. Y bueno, el tiempo se nos ha terminado. Do you want to add something, Sarah?
No, no.
She's so
Everything's
quiet
fine.
today, guys.
Yeah, I was just. It's because I'm taking
Excuse
all
her.
the word that Aaron just gave. I felt like I was sitting down and preaching, and I wanted to take notes, and I couldn't. 'cause-
Hopefully you are, because every time it was your turn to talk, you would just kind of like not say anything.
Yeah, because I was taking it all in. It was a really good word. You
It
know,
was.
I mean, I expected great things, but I wanted to take some notes, and then I couldn't because I would lose it because I would have to translate in Spanish. But
it was great. Anyways, guys, we just declare blessings upon your life, and we just hope that you keep having an amazing and blessed day. Hope to see you guys next week, same time,
Same place.
everything, same place. All right. God bless you guys.
Bless,
God
guys.
bless.
Bye bye.